Morning, gang. It's Friday, the 2nd of November 2018, and welcome to this morning's rather cold United Kingdom talk. How cold was it tonight? How cold was it last night and this morning? I'll tell you. Well, never mind. The oil heater in the bedroom struggled to get to 61 degrees. I don't know what that is in centigrade, actually. I keep looking at on my, the old-fashioned thermometers, like a long thing with that thing that goes up and down in the middle. I don't think they use mercury anymore, do they? They found that out to be very dangerous. Don't they put some sort of, well, it's red, so I don't think it's mercury. It's some sort of red liquid in there that goes up and down. And it didn't get any higher than 61 in my bedroom last night, and that's with the oil radiator full on. It really struggles. I have to say, the single new convector heater that I've put in the living room cum dining area has managed to take the chill off the room in there. So when you walk in now, you no longer go, oh, that's really cold like that, right? It's more of a cool. It's not heating it up, though. It's not like if you was at home, for example. Do you see what I mean? You know, you're still going there. So, am I walking in there thinking it's a bit cold? No, not cold, cool, but not warm. Do you see what I mean? So you're not walking around there. You're not going to die from hypothermia, but it's still not warming it up. Anyway, something else has occurred there last night, so I'll tell you about that as the show goes on. First of all, let's say hello to those millions of people joining us all over the world. And as always, I'm eternally grateful for those of you that take the time and trouble to share the show onto your wall. I know some of you do that. Some of them did a little share on the top of the wall there. So thank you very much, those of you that do that, okay? Good morning to Mr. Ray Reynolds. Ray, you've appeared on my chat thing, as from what I can see, you are the first message this morning. So that's come straight up this morning, so I'm glad about that. Good morning to Mr. Ray Reynolds I can't remember where you are now, Barnet or somewhere ghastly like that. Or Ray lives in a very, very dangerous area. His neighbours had his car nicked twice. It come back and then they nicked it again a little while ago. Another neighbour, his house lit on fire. A dodgy old place old Ray Reynolds lives. Good morning, Ray. All right. Morning to Adam the plumber. Alan Russell's there good this morning. Hello, Alan. Welcome to the show, Alan. Let's see who we got here. Diane Jeb, morning. Wayne Martin is off today, so he can't watch. Oh, he's got to go to the gym. Oh, what a shame, Wayne, because I might give away something later. But never mind, you know, if you can't stay, that's just the way it is, old boy. You know, that's one of those things. If you're new to the show, welcome along. We have a little bit of a chat, read a few messages, do some news stories, and I'll tell you what I've been doing. That's what the show's all about. Very light-hearted, okay? Morning to Rod Brown. Rod, you haven't been here for a while, have you, lovey? Oh, no, found someone else to watch, have you? Oh, it's so hurt, dear. It's like a knife going into my chest when people disappear like that because they found someone younger and prettier to watch on the telly. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Are you in love with Victoria Derbyshire? Is that the case? Is it Victoria Derbyshire or Nana, what's her name? Nana, you know, oh, God blimey, what's her name? The dark-skinned girl on Breakfast. What's her name? Naga. Naga. Are you in love with Naga, or is it Victoria Derbyshire? You can imagine Victoria Derbyshire on BBC News as one of those whiplash ladies, can't you? Yeah, dominatrix. Maybe that's something she does in her spare time. I don't know. All right, Joanna over there on YouTube. Hello, Joanna. Nice and early this morning, as indeed is John Parrish. He's going to be buying a caravan here in the UK soon. Michael Lawrence. Good morning, Michael. Young Michael's there. Alcohol. Is that what they use now, John? In thermometers? Alcohol. I didn't know that. Oh, if you're an alcoholic, which actually shouldn't really be joked about, but if you're an alcoholic and you're a bit desperate, you could always smash a thermometer and drink that, couldn't you? There's an idea. Perhaps it's cheaper than buying a pint of lager. It would be in some of the places I've seen, I tell you. Where are we now? Where are we now? AD James, good morning, AD. And your baby and your lovely lady. Morning to you lot. Paul Moslis in a very beautiful Birmingham this morning. John likes the shirt. I'm sure you'll grow into it. All my shirts are too big because of the enormous amount of weight I've lost. But it goes up a little bit now and again as well. I think we're on the up again this week after last night. Oh dear. So that's everyone. Thank you very much. You can always send in a message again, either on your chat, whatever you're on, Facebook Live. I don't think the it looks like the Periscope messages aren't working this morning, so you won't be able to get in on that one. Okay. Or if you can't type into a computer or something, don't forget you can text in a message. 07551 259 675 is the texting number. If you're outside the UK and you want to text in, that's okay as well. Our country code is 44. Okay, so that would be if you're abroad, outside the UK, 447551 259 675, and that should get the text messaging in. If you're in the UK, 07551 259 675. And Simon Keane wrote in last night, actually. Simon watches the catch-up things. You're always welcome to leave a message, after the show is finished by text message. I'll try and read it out on the next show. But Simon writes, I've just been to Las Vegas. Did you know in America, if you drink alcohol for 3 days, they force you to get help? In other words, 3 days binge is rehab. In the UK, 3-day binge is bank holiday weekend. Thank you, Simon. Simon likes a good drink, doesn't he? No Maureen this morning. Where's Maureen this morning? Where are you, Maureen? Where are you now? Exactly, yes. What number is your lot, Chris? You want to know my caravan address? No, you'll be round here, dear, trying to cut bits off as mementos of me. No, I'm not telling you my address. Have you gone mad, dear? Have you gone mad? Can I have your address? What, read out on here for all to see? I could be, attacked and pillaged in my own caravan while the world sleeps. No one cares. That's what you want to happen, isn't it? And you want video cameras there watching me, yes. Anyway, as I say, very, very cold last night. In the Mail this morning, it says heat waves, and actually I saw this on the BBC News this morning as well. Heat waves are lasting twice as long as 50 years ago. Good! Good, because let me tell you, it's a lot easier to keep warm than it is cold then, isn't it? Sub-zero days are disappearing. Not last night, they weren't. Now, I can't say I was cold in the caravan last night, but it's struggling to get above that 60, But 60 feels like summer when it's like, what's 60? Oh, you see, this is the trouble with the temperature in my head. I'm of the age that when we were at school, we learnt kind of half metric and half imperial. So for some reason in my head, warmer temperatures are in Fahrenheit and the cold ones are in centigrade. So in the caravan last night, I suppose, what's 60? 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 20, 16, 15, 16 centigrade, right? Whereas outside, it was like -1. So it is working. It is working, but I can't get it much higher than sort of 60, 61, 62, you see. That's the thing. Anyway, back to this story. Sub-zero temperatures are disappearing and tropical nights are occurring in Middlesbrough. Now, I don't know a lot about Middlesbrough, other than it's up north. It's further up north than I am, I believe. So, of course, the further north you go, the colder it is. In Scotland, they never have summer. They have it is permanently snowing and raining in Scotland. It's raining, it's pouring, my love life is boring me to tears after all these years. You know the song, don't you? Yes. Tropical nights are on the rise throughout the UK, it says, and are now starting to occur as far north as Middlesbrough. And we didn't have one here last night. A new Met Office report has revealed that heat waves in the UK are now lasting twice as long as they did 50 years ago, thanks to climate change. Bring it on! Bring it on! Perhaps I won't have to turn the heating on at all then. Cool. As well as warmer spells lasting longer than ever before, the chilliest times of the year are now less cold than they were in the past. Now, I've said this for years. In the 70s, when I was a child, you used to get snow come down and there would be ice on the ground, literally on the ground, for weeks on end. We do not get that now. I'm sorry, we don't. We get occasional, now and again we might have a weather forecast, and they say, usually around sort of February time, 2 days of snow. We're going to get a massive snowstorm, and the snow comes down And for 2 days, we are disrupted. And that's about it. Honestly, that is about it. Whereas I remember in the 70s, this cold would go on and on and on with ice on the ground. But we seem to cope better with it then, when it used to happen more. It's odd, isn't it? John says 23 degrees is considered fine. 22 to 23 is just right. So really, it's you see, it's still not warm enough in this caravan. I don't know why that is. Get an electric what? An electric blanket? Do you mean an electric blanket? I don't know. Electric blanket. I've actually got an electric blanket. I'm all right in the bed. I've got a lovely thick duvet. Do you ever get to that point, you know, when it starts getting a bit cold and you change the duvet over, only then for the next night for it to warm up again and you're chucking off the duvet? Do you do that much? We used to have blankets as a child. Blankets were nice. And funnily enough, I've been looking around for a woolen blanket. I can't have that bloody acrylic stuff, or what's that called? Is it fleece? Which is like an acrylic-y type stuff. If I use that, everything I touch, I get electrocuted then. I can't have that. I need a woolen blanket. I looked them up. They're like £100. Why is it £100 for a wool? Oh, I should have looked in America, shouldn't I? When I was over there. I bet they're cheaper over there. A 100% woolen blanket, you're looking at £100. How is that? Even on eBay, they're dear. I mean, I suppose I could buy a second-hand one, couldn't I? Is that all right? Is that acceptable? A second-hand woolen blanket? You know, or is that like buying second-hand underwear? I know people that sell their underwear online, you know that. No, my sister's not one of them, though. Oh, thank God for that. You know, it'd be a lot of postage she'd have to pay if she sent a pair of her knickers through the post. God, my God, the parcels. There'd have to be 2 people carry it to your house. Anyway, back to this story. The report tracks weather since the 1960s and said that scorching summer days are now hotter than ever before. That is certainly the case in Australia, I'll tell you that. I've got a lot of family live in Australia and they say the summer gets hotter and hotter every year. Absolutely. The lowest temperature of the year, let's have a look, the hottest, also the lowest temperature of the year was 35 degrees Fahrenheit, 1.7 degrees centigrade milder in the last decade than they were 3 decades ago, up to 1990. You know, 1990 is so long ago now, isn't it? And I keep having this conversation with people how quickly time passes the older you get. I was talking to Ray Reynolds on the phone. Well, I was listening to Ray Reynolds. When you ring up Ray Reynolds, immediately that he knows it's you, he launches himself. And you can't get a word in edgeways. It's true. You try. Let me give you Ray Reynolds' phone number now. You ring him, okay? 0208. No, I don't think so. Ray's. Oh my God, it's not going to give my phone number out, is he? That's Ray Reynolds. I wouldn't give your phone number out. That's Ray Reynolds of number 3, West Hampstead Drive, London SE5 167. That's not really his address. Oh dear. But yeah, Ray says as well, time passes so quickly. And so if you take 1990 now, in my mind, that wasn't long ago until I think about it. And that is actually 28 years ago. 1990, 2000. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No, it's not. It's 47 years ago. 1990, and my maths isn't that good. I'm trying to do my best. I'm calculating while I'm live here. There's no calculator here. I don't need a calculator, dear. I'm not a millennial. I just Google that. I just Google. Whenever you say something to a minute, let me just Google that. Out comes the phone from the pocket. It's like they look for an excuse to get the damn phone out of the pocket all the time. Any excuse. Oh, let me... Tap, 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 tap. God knows why these little glass screens don't wear out on certain people's phones, including my nephew, young Jimmy. Oh, tap, tap, tap. Every time there was a Wi-Fi area. Fortunately, on holiday, he didn't have free... See, I'm on 3. I actually got a text from 3 when I got back to the UK. Now, the 3 tariff I'm on allows me to use my phone as I would do here for no extra cost. That's data, phone calls and text for no extra cost whatsoever in a list of countries as long as your arm. And I got a text when I got back and it told me I'd saved just under £2,000, which is hardly so, because I'm sending up videos and that all the time, aren't I, you see? £2,000 it reckons I saved while I was on holiday for that 1 week in Las Vegas on phone charges. How's that? Cost to me, £25. £25 a month I pay for that. Unlimited text, unlimited data, unlimited phone calls. And the customer service is pretty good as well. When I first had a 3 phone, it was diabolical. I'm going back here 20 years. It was dreadful. But they're pretty good now. Back to this. The hottest day of each year in the most recent decade, as I say, was on average 0.8 degrees centigrade warmer than each year's hottest day for the period 1961 to 1990. And the lowest temperature of the year were 1.7 degrees milder, not colder. So even the cold days have gone up a bit than they were 3 decades up to 1990. Tropical nights, I do like tropical nights. I know some of you don't like it, tossing and turning in bed, unable to get to sleep. What you've got to do is take the duvet off and just go under a sheet. And that sorts you out. And it's lovely. There's something very nice about, certainly if I've gone to work and I've got home or come up to the caravan, and then you get out of the car and it's warm at like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, as you walk from the car back to your house or wherever. That's lovely. And walking along streets and places like that, again, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and it's warm. Not just not cold, that's not cold, warm. You know, not cold, warm, hot. Do you see what I mean? So somewhere in the middle, and that is lovely. I never forget, the first experience I think I had of that was when I was in Sydney in Australia about 8 or 9 years ago. And a friend of mine had asked us round to dinner, him and his other half. So I went, what was his name? Wayne, I think it was Wayne. And had a nice dinner there. That's when I was eating dead animals at the time, boys and girls. I know, dead animals. I had this great big bit of steak and some chits, and we had a chat, chit-chat. About 11:30, I left his house. And he said, shall I get you a cab? I said, no, I'll walk, because I knew the route. He lived in Surrey Hills. So I walked from Surrey Hills and then turned left down Oxford Street. And then my hotel was at the end of Oxford Street near Hyde Park in Sydney. And he opened the door, and it was like this wall of heat hit me. This was 11:30 at night. And I looked on my phone at the temperature, and it was like 88 degrees Fahrenheit at 11:30 at night. Now, we haven't experienced that here yet, but I wonder if that is to come. Now, that's uncomfortable. You can't sleep in that. You've got to have the air conditioning on. Yeah, either that or people around you that you've invited back to your room blowing air at you to save money on the air conditioning bill. So it says it's getting warmer. I mean, it's a shame we didn't experience that last night, but there we are as one of those things. So very nice indeed. Let's have a look here. Let's read some of your messages out, my darlings. Good morning to Claire. Hello, Claire. Are you along for the karaoke tonight, my darling? Morning, Claire. Ah, Maureen's there. Good morning, Maureen. There's Maureen. I knew you'd be there. A little bit late, Maureen. Very disappointed that you're late this morning, darling. Okay, I got you a gift. I don't know if you're down tonight. Sometimes you come Fridays, sometimes you don't. If you have, I've got you a little something, Maureen. No, not telling you what it... No, not telling you. Not telling you. Or if you're not down tonight, I'll hang on to it till Monday. All right, my darling. I've got all sorts of things in my car at the moment. There was a young lad, one of the people that come with Lady Phoenix. He sent me a Facebook message. He hasn't got my phone number. Last Friday night at about 11:30, he'd gone home and said, have I left my glasses on the table? And I went over to the table that I know he was sitting at, and there indeed was his glasses. So he said, oh, can you put them in the car for me? I said, yeah, no problem. So they're in the car at the moment, and I'll let him have those tonight. With, of course, a £15 charge for looking after them. Well, we can't do things for free, dear. I think £15 is very reasonable for looking. What do you think, gang? £15 surely is a reasonable charge to make for looking after a pair of £200 glasses for a week, taking up space in my car and forcing me, against my will, to use more petrol as I travel up and down the country to my various different television studios. Exactly, dear, exactly. Where are we going now? Good morning to Kevin Webster. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to you, sir. Welcome to our little showette. Thank you. Where are we? Another 30 quid haircut, I see. Phew. No, it's not. Oh, that's what I did yesterday. That's what I did yesterday. I didn't write that down. I had a haircut yesterday at H's. H is in a place called Coningsby. He's got a little shop there. A very small shop. Only one chair in there. And that was interesting yesterday. So I went in there. You pull up right outside his hairdresser, get out of the car because you can come off the road and onto the little bit outside. Went in there and there's a girl sitting there. And wait till I tell you this little story. So the girl's sitting there. H is there. Hello, mate. So I'm sitting in the chair and we're having a conversation. And as the girl and him were talking to each other while I was talking as well, and I suddenly was, oh, it's your daughter. He said, yeah, that's right. I said, oh, pleased to meet you. And then we were talking, I can't remember about what, but it got onto the subject of television. And I told him what one of my favourite programmes, excuse me, do you mind if I blow my nose a second? 1 minute. I'm a noisy nose. Are you a noisy nose blower? Listen. I'm a very, very noisy nose blower. It's hilarious. Sometimes you're in a restaurant or something like that, and I blow my nose, and everyone looks around. Yeah, can I help you? Yes. Yeah, I'm just blowing my nose. Thank you. Get on with your meals. Rude. Rude. And I'm telling them one of my favourite programmes of all time is Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away. Oh, it's hilarious. Watching people lose their houses and their goods and their money. I love it. I love it. And we got into the subject of that. And then she says, well, do you want to know what job I do? And I said, go on then. And it turns out she's a bailiff. And actually, when you look at, some people have got the certain look for a certain job. Do you know what I mean? For example, you're looking at me now and you're thinking international television celebrity and huge megastar. That's what you're thinking at the moment. I look like a megastar and super hot person from the television, don't I? Well, I am. Here I am, on the television. My friend says, well, you're not really on the television. And I'm like, yes, I am. And he says, no, you're not. You're on a computer. I said, no, I am. There are people at this very moment watching me on large 50-inch plasmas. Soon to be upgraded to 70 inches, I hope. And I hope I look just as good on a 70 as a 50, as a small computer or a mobile phone. I'm everywhere. Everywhere. So you're looking at me and thinking, yes, you look like a megastar. Well, she looks like a bailiff. She absolutely, you can look at her and she looks like a bailiff. And we're having this conversation. I said, it does make me laugh when they go round to someone's house and hello, bailiffs, I'm afraid you're going to have to vacate the property today. And they open the door. Oh, we haven't had a letter at all. And I've always said this. Yes, they have. They haven't had one letter. By the time that I said to her, now correct me if I'm wrong, I said to his daughter yesterday, by the time you've got there, am I right in thinking they have had several letters before it gets to you? And she said, absolutely. They would have had 5 or 6 letters. And when the bailiff goes round, that is the very end of the line. And why have they gone round? Because they never responded to the letters. They ignore the letters. And she said, I proved that once. She said, one day, instead of going out and doing the job, as in, chucking people out of their homes that they've not paid rent for or gone to collect money or anything like that, she said, one day, instead of posting the letters, they sent me out to hand deliver them. And she did. She went out and hand delivered the letters. Either put them through the letterbox or knocked on the door and handed them the letter like that. She said she then went round the period afterwards. It was, I don't know what it is, 1 week or 2 weeks afterwards or 4 weeks. She went round to those same houses that she delivered the letters, knocked on the door. Oh, we haven't had a letter. We haven't had a letter. And then I said to her, do you ever feel sorry for everyone? She said, no, never. She says, I said, what about the people like you know, when they've got like children and all that in the house and they've got nowhere else to go or anything like that. She says, no, she says, I'm absolutely heartless, and usually they have got money. She said, let me give you this example. There might be a car outside. Usually there is a car outside. The first thing she does when she goes round to the house is find out which one's their car, and they park in front of it so they can't take the car, so they can't drive away. Now, this may sound harsh, but remember, those bailiffs are only doing their job. It's not them that, of course they get a fee, of course they do, they get a fee for what, but it's not them that the money is owed to. They are collecting the money on behalf of somewhere else. No bailiff is going to knock at your door, hello, you owe us this amount of money. All right? No bailiff is going to knock at your door and say you owe us this amount of money, because you don't owe a bailiff money. You owe the person that has employed the bailiff money, okay? So they employ them, they come round to you and collect the money, right? That's how it works. Or what is it now? Retake, oh, how'd you say that? Retake the house. You know, if you've got somewhere you haven't paid rent for, and then they come round and retake the house. I can't remember what that's called now. Oh dear. Evict. You'll be evicted for the house. You haven't paid the rent. You know, the landlord is out of pocket. He or she usually has to pay a mortgage on that. So while you're not paying the rent, he's having to pay the mortgage. He or she is having to pay the mortgage out of their own money. So they've come round, chuck you out, get another tenant in, and that's how it is. And she said, even if it's an old car there, so, you know, she'll go and see the old car. She goes, you have to remember, if you've got a car, whether it's brand new or 50 years old, you're having to put petrol in that car. You're having to insure that car. You're having to maintain that car. You're having to buy tyres for that car. So if you can afford all that, you can afford to pay the 30 quid ticket, whatever it was, for the parking. And you see, this is where you're caught out. Now, for example, to pay a parking ticket is relatively inexpensive in comparison to some of the charges you'll have if it gets to the bailiff level. Most parking charges, they're something like £60, £100, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of money, £60, £100, whatever. But usually, on that bit of paper, it will say, but, you know, this £60 parking fine reduces to £30 if you pay it within, I don't know, 14 days, 20 days, whatever it is, right? But they don't. They ignore it. So then that £30 parking ticket becomes £60. You get another letter. You have failed to pay this within 14 days, so now it's 60 days. They ignore it. So then it goes up to, I think, £120. Still not paying it. Then the bailiffs become involved. That's £200 now on the first visit, and every time they visit, it costs you even more. So you're far better off to pay the 30 quid. And she says, basically, it's laziness. People don't want to walk over to a machine sometimes and put the money in. She says, and another thing, when we see these cars, she says, and they look in the window. If they can see McDonald's wrappers and KFC things in the footwell in the car, you know what people are like. You've seen some of people's cars. Oh, they're just filthy cars. She said, well, that costs an arm and a leg to go to McDonald's. So you can afford to go to McDonald's and KFC, right? But you can't afford to pay the parking. She says, no. She says, I'm absolutely heartless. No one gets away with it. So that was interesting to have a conversation with her. She comes across as a nice person, actually. You know, but she is just doing a job. Someone has to do it. It's an horrible job. I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't do it. I could not go round to someone's house with, I don't know, 2, 3 little children from a lady who's perhaps come from another country, has now become a single mother for whatever reason. The husband's left her. She's left to leave out with the 3 children. They owe a £30 parking fine, which has now become £250. Could I go, and she can't pay the rent, could I go round and chuck her out of her house? No. No way. No way. I just couldn't do it. But someone has to be able to do it, and she's one of them. So it was a really interesting conversation. So I had my haircut, I had a nice shave. He does all this. Look at this. Look at this. It's all nice. £18 for that lot. I'll give him 20. So if I have this done in where I am, it's like 35 quid for all this business. We say a hot towel. We have a hot towel. I say a hot towel. He hasn't got the little hot towel oven type thing. So what he does is he boils a kettle. He's got this old flannel, and then he puts that on your face. It's just as good. Works very well. He's such a nice chap. He swears a lot. F this and F that while he's having a conversation with her. But he's a lovely chap. He really is. And he's from, I think it's from Greece or Cyprus, one of the two. And you sit there chatting to him. It was really nice to meet his daughter, actually. Really nice. Let's have a look. Diane. Good morning to Diane. Hello, Diane. You lovely lady. Diane Horan Hill is a really good singer, all-round nice person. She had a record out a little while ago who says, I used to have an electric blanket and I remember coming out of the bath being cold and wet and sitting with a towel around me on the bed. Was that naked, was it, Diane? Are there any pictures of that, please, that I can show my viewers? Diane, send me pictures of you naked on your bed, please, in provocative condition. Can you do any of the Katie Price poses? What does she look like? At least you look natural, love. I would. Has she been kicked out of her house, Katie Price? She owes loads of money, doesn't she? It's unbelievable as people realise they haven't got as much money as they used to have, yet they carry on trying to have the same lifestyle they have, don't they? I don't know what all that's about. It's very strange, really. Where are we now? I lost that. On the bed. The electric blanket started buzzing because it was damp and connecting with an electric blanket. It could have given me an electric shock. Oh, was it buzzing? Oh, I used to go out in the 90s and be buzzing at night time. It wasn't an electric blanket, though. Oh, dear. Happy times. Sorry, these messages are skipping around a little bit today. I don't know why they're jumping up and down all the time. Where are we now? Let's go down a little bit. Come on, where are you now? Where are you? I keep singing that song, and where are you now? Oh, it's jumped again. Why is that jumping around like that? Let's just try and scroll up. Thank you. Jimmy's... oh, dear. Hang on, what if I extend it like that? Is that going to work? It might be because I've made the window a bit smaller. John can't sleep on a tropical night. Yes, because of course John is in the Philippines. Or is it Singapore? Philippines or Singapore, one of those two. And it does get very hot there. I've never been to either of those countries. I love Filipino people. They're so warm and friendly. Or at least they are when they talk to me. Perhaps not to you. It depends how you are, you see. That's how it is. Pulls off. Claire's coming to the karaoke tonight. Excellent. Well, what's the new song you're trying tonight, Claire? Let us know. Kevin's going to see the new Queen film tonight. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when I'm going to see it. Hoping to go and see that perhaps next week. Actually, my sister and her husband want to see that. So maybe we'll go and see that one night next week. That'll be something to do next week. So that would be good. Claire, make sure you pay a... You'll have to... Mind you, a caravan. You'll have to find me caravan first if you want to come and pay a visit here. Wouldn't that be funny if one of you lot knocked at the door? Hello, Chris. I'm John Parrish. Oh, dear. Queen. Yeah, that's the one, Jamie Patterson. We love Queen. We love Queen. We will rock you. Rock you. I love that song. Alan Davey. Good morning to Alan Davey. Hello. I remember Belushi's Hammersmith karaoke. That was the best, Alan, weren't it? Eh? You and me and Ugly Dave and Pretty Boy Steve. Do you remember another lad? Oh, I can't remember his name now. His name's gone right over. He was actually murdered by his girlfriend. I found that out about a year ago. I just happened to be looking for the Facebook and his little face popped up. And then I saw all these messages of condolences. I think he was Steve. I think his name was Steve as well. Sure, it was Steve. Steve, tall, thin lad. Lovely bloke he was. Lovely. He used to come and talk to me and all the girls would be out. He was very popular with the girls. Very popular with the girls. And I left Belushi's. No, I didn't leave Belushi's. They cancelled the karaoke, didn't they, when a new bloke come in. What was his name? Dustin. new bloke come in and cancelled the karaoke. So that must have been about 5 or 6 years ago now. And then kind of lost contact with most of the people. Not you, Alan, because you're still on here, aren't you? Keely Marie, yes. What a beautiful girl she is, Keely Marie. And so talented. So talented. She made me laugh. You know, one of the Aussie boys, because the Aussie boys, got to tell you this, boys and girls, the Aussie boys are very forward when it comes to ladies. Belushi's was always busy with lots of Aussie people, especially Aussie boys, and they were very, very forward. And I'll never forget, an Aussie boy came over, who I know, they always come and talk to me. I had such a great laugh in that place, such a great laugh, and they all knew I was a puff, but didn't bother them at all. And I used to play up to it, didn't I? You know. And these Aussie boys used to come over and talk to me about this girl and that girl, and some of the stories I can't read them on here, dear. Anyway, so he's spotted Keely Marie. This is years ago. And he's gone over and sat next to her. And I couldn't see. All I could see was the two of them sitting next to there, right? And I thought, well, I'll go over and sit there and have a little bit of a chat with them as well, because the table was quite full. And I heard him say something to her. And she said to him, I don't remember the exact words, but, and if you don't take your hand off my leg, I'm going to smash you in the mouth. And you could see she was the sort of girl that would do that. That's how to deal with people. That's how to deal. Ladies, that is how to deal with these lads who come on a bit strong. Just smack them in the mouth. They're not going to hit you back. No need to go running to the paper like the snowflakes. Oh, I was abused in a pub by a boy who put his hand on my bum. Oh, get real, will ya? Just walloping them in the face. What's your problem? Bloody snowflakes all the time. That is how to do it. That's how to do it, ladies. You get touched inappropriately. No reason to write to the newspaper and come on the Victoria Derbyshire show with your sad face. Oh, I was abused in a club. No, just smack him in the mouth and be done with it. Get it over and done with. You're not going to get your £10,000. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you, ladies. That is not going to happen. I mean, I can only dream of walking in a place and having my arse slapped by a few straight lads. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. I'll tell you that now. Oh, dear. Alan, what about Silence? He had everyone on their feet. Yes, Silence was a great singer. He appears now and again. He comes along. He finds out wherever I am. I never know that he's going to turn up, but every few months he turns up somewhere. At the moment, I'm only doing one karaoke, Alan. That's at Central Station in King's Cross in London. It is a gay bar, but we have a fairly mixed crowd in there, straight and gay, if you ever want to come along to that. Okay, I don't think they ever started it again at Hammersmith, did they? Which is a shame, really. I thought it worked really well there. Besides, the only night I could do now, the only night I have free is Sunday. I'm in Lincolnshire at the moment. I spend half my week up here now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm actually speaking from a caravan, although it's, disguised as an international television studio. It's actually a caravan. I won't lie to you. I cannot lie. I'm a Roman Catholic, my darling. Cannot lie to you. But yeah, it was great. I mean, if it ever came up again, do let us know. A Sunday would be nice, really. A Sunday would actually be nice. Claire's going to sing tonight, A Girl Like You. I like the sound of that. I'll be waiting for a girl like you. Diane was back in the 70s. Oh, yes. But, that's jumping. Why are these messages jumping around today? They're not like staying in front of me. Do you know what I mean? I try and look and then it does. Back in the 70s when we didn't have central heating. That's right, Diane. We had ice on the inside of our windows in the 1970s. Had a flat in Roehampton. Or a maisonette it was, up and down, 3 bedrooms up and down. I was talking actually to my brother-in-law last night about our old homes in Roehampton. He before he married my sister, he lived opposite us in like our flat was there and his our maisonette was there, his maisonette was there. They were like long red blocks, and none of us had heating in there at all, unfortunately. Hello to Jamie Patterson in Austin, Texas. Welcome to the show, Jamie. Hope you're well. Is it warm there? Because it's very cold here in the UK at the moment. All right. So it was 7 years ago. There's no key rings, Paul Mosley. No key rings. Good morning to Tony Power as well this morning. Joining us a little bit late this morning, Tony. Do try and keep up with the rest of us, dear. You know, we can't hang around. What do you want me to do? Hang around here and wait for you to join us? I would have been sitting here now for 40 minutes waiting for you. Do you like my cock clock? Do you like my cock clock? Isn't that fabulous? My mate bought me that. He's going in hospital today. In fact, he'll probably just be getting up now. He's got an operation today. He's had a lot of trouble with his stomach. And they're going to open him up. And I don't know what they're going to do. Some of his, it says like, there's, what's it called? Adhesions. I think there's adhesions. Or something like that going on in his stomach. So he's having that all done. And at the same time, as a side effect of that, he's got to have liposuction to suck the fat away. So he's been eating like a horse. He went out for an afternoon tea yesterday. Oh, yes. Good morning to Jake Hook. Morning, Jake. Long time no see. Welcome to our little show. All right. So after my haircut, I went swimming. That was busy yesterday. The swimming pool was busy. Of course, we had one bloke at the end who owned the pool. You know the sort. And he weren't young. He was probably about my age, around about 50, 55. Up and down. He was doing the butterfly. I hate the butterfly. I think that's the one where they do that. Both arms at the same time. And they splash all over the place. Rude. That's what it is, dear. Rude. So he was doing the butterfly. Generally, although it was busy in there, people were respecting other people. So if you saw someone, you just moved out their way. The people that own the swimming pool, they don't move out the way. They just carry on going in a straight line. It's unnecessary. That's what it is. Unnecessary. On the same thing, you have to say, if you're a bit slow, you need to move out of the way of the faster people. So it does kind of work both ways. So that was all right. Then we went to Skegness. I say then, I come back here, had a bit of lunch, had a sleep. Oh, Sylvie popped round. Sylvie, who is queen of karaoke, who is queen of the Chapel Hill Marina. She is the owner along with her husband, and she had a letter for me. She says, oh, hello, Chris. You haven't been here for a couple of weeks. And I said, no, I've been in Vegas. And then there was the week after Vegas, of course, because we're going like halfway through the week. And she said, oh, I've got a letter for you. She said, I've been hanging on to this for weeks. And it is my new Cooperative Retail card. Look at that. Cooperative Retail Society. Can you see that? There we are. Now, I have one already. But did you know, and I didn't know this, the co-op, although it's all over the country, they're like different branches within the same name, if you see what I mean. Different areas. So I can't use my Berkshire co-op card here. So I've got my new co-op, it says right at the bottom in tiny letters, which I can barely see myself, Lincolnshire co-op. So there's my dividend card. Oh yes, which comes with a £1 extra dividend. Yeah, we've got to collect those points, girls. You've got to collect those points. Absolutely. Good morning to Peter. He's in Woodall Spa, just up the road there. Morning, Peter. Hope you're well today. And he says, how are you, mate? Very cold morning in Woodall Spa. Yeah, it was here last night. I couldn't get the bedroom temperature more than 60 degrees. But there we are. One of those things. I'm going to have to do something about this heating. To be honest, fan heaters seem to be the best thing that's working at the moment. Although the convector heater that I put in the living room the other day has made a difference. That's definitely made a difference in the living room. Now when I go in there on a really cold morning, it's no longer like that. It's cool, but not cold. So that has made a difference in there. Now, and there's more on the heating news coming up in this programme. Don't go too far, okay? Let's see if I try and keep on top of the messages. Tony's not in a good mood today. Oh, he's had a nasty virus on his computer last night. Oh no, thought it got hacked, but it turned out to be a browser virus. Oh, a browser virus. Now, what does that do then? What is a browser virus? Can you elongate with that one, please, Tony? Because I don't know what that is. You must explain to me, darling. So Sylvie popped around with that yesterday afternoon. I had a little bit of a sleep and then went over to my sister's house and we had our weekly trip to Skegness. So this is how our weekly Skegness trip should go, right? So we get to Skegness, we drive along the road, we get to Skegness, we park our car in the free car park after 6 o'clock. There's no one around, few people, just a few people around. Then we go to the chip shop, have something to eat. Then we have a walk along the beach. Then we go to McDonald's for an ice cream. Then we usually go and spend £1 or £2. And I mean £1 or £2. Not £10, not £20. £1 or £2 we allow ourselves in the machine. Because we are sensible. We're not sitting there putting tens, hundreds of pounds. We limit ourselves. My brother-in-law sometimes manages to do the whole trip without putting any money in the machine. I might get myself a little cup of 2p pieces. Oh, hours of fun with that. Hours of fun. You don't need to be putting loads and loads of money in there. Right? But we didn't do the machines last night. And then from there, we usually go to Aldi and then home. And that's like 3 hours. And it's a lovely night out. And it's very laid back. We don't rush. Don't rush or anything like that. It's nice and laid back. Not so last night. It all went a bit wrong. It all went to pot. So on the way to Skegness, we get almost there. Road closed. Diversion. Now, I don't know about you, but for some reason, if I see a sign that says road closed ahead, but I can't see the closed road, I carry on. Do you do that? Do you ever do that? Because I found sometimes they have a road closed sign and it's one of the side roads that's closed, isn't it? Have you noticed that before? They put a road closed ahead there, right? And then you go down there and it turns out that one of the side roads is closed. Not the main road. So I come down here and guess what? The main road is closed. So I had to turn back there and come back that way. Never mind. One of those things. So I'm going around the houses and I saw other places that I hadn't seen in Skegness. I said, well, what's this? She said, oh, this is the high street. Well, I said, we haven't been here. This is a new part of Skegness for me. I haven't been there before. Everywhere's pretty dead. There's no one around. It's now about 6 o'clock at night. Anyway, we carried around. We got back to the seafront, parked in the car park and walked to the chip shop. Now, this particular chip shop is very good. They're reasonable prices. They're no cheaper than anywhere else, really, but they're reasonable prices. You get served quick. And more importantly than everything else, you get a decent-sized meal. I always have the same thing when I go in there. Chips with baked beans on top. I have large chips and baked beans on top, and that's lovely, and that's enough to eat. I've been in places, and there's nothing worse than going in a restaurant, whether it be a cheapo place like a pub restaurant, like a Beefeater or a Toby Carvery, anything like that. Nothing worse, or somewhere posh like the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in London. There's nothing worse. These are not places, incidentally, that necessarily give you small portions. Just giving you a couple of name examples there of different places. But you know, some places you go in there and you order a meal and it comes, and the portions are tiny, and you complain. Now, this happened recently at a place in Boston a couple of weeks ago. You may remember if you were watching the show, and the chips came up. Oh, where's the chips? Where's the chips? And I said, there's not many chips there. And the answer wasn't, okay, we'll do you a few more. The answer was, oh, well, that's a portion, mate. And honestly, there were no more than 8 chips on the plate. And the other one that I really hate this, is when you go to a restaurant and you ask for chips with whatever, and out comes this tiny little metal basket, you know, where they've put it, and you get about enough room for about 5 bloody chips. No. Well, I don't go back. You know, once that's happened, I don't go back there again. I'm just trying to remember the name of the place. It was on a roundabout, and it had a pub opposite it, and B&Q and Tesco were close by up in Boston. Can't remember now. But yes, I did say something. I said, well, there's not many chips here. Well, that's a portion, mate. That was the answer. No, not good customer service. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Shame, really, because the food was nice. Just wasn't enough of it. Not in this place in Skegness. You get a decent amount of chips. So there I am, I'm chomping away on my chips and bits. I had a little extra, which I wish I hadn't had now. They were like little cheese balls with barbecue sauce in the middle. And I bit into them. To be honest, I don't think they'd been cooked enough because they were still cold in the middle. And the cheese was a bit hard around. I think it should have been melted. But there you go, I won't get those again. And my sister and her husband, they're on a, they say they're on a no-carb diet. You know. And then now and again, she'll have a sandwich or a sausage roll. I mean, love, you're either on it or you're not on it. Which is it? Make up your mind, sister. Make up your mind. Oh, Paul Mosley's going to Skegness tomorrow. Oh, yes. Well, go to the chip shop. Okay, so you know where the clock is. The clock's in the middle. You go forward. There's all the funfair and that. So the clock's in the middle. Okay. If you were looking with the sea behind you, look slightly to your right, and there is a chip place where you go upstairs, and it's got a pub next to it. Go up there, and when you go out, it's like pirates. Pirates. I think they've got pirates and pirate type things in there. Go up the stairs and have your chips in there, and tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Have your chips and fish and chips. It's all up there, and you won't be hungry after a meal in there. Or if you don't want chips, they've got pizzas. You can order pizzas, kebabs, and that sort of thing. Now, my sister and her husband often have a kebab, and they've had a kebab in there for years. Yesterday, they ordered a kebab, and they noticed they changed the kebab slightly. They've put some sort of curry spices or something like that on. Anyway, so they ordered it, and it come. And my sister put it down. My sister looked at it. She said, "Oh, I don't know about this." She looked at me. She said, "They've changed it." I said, "Well, what have they done?" They've put something else on it. Anyway, she started it. She didn't like it. She said, "Oh, I can't believe that. Why do people do this? Why do they change something that works already?" I had that for years while I was DJing. The amount of times we had something going really well, and then some idiot, is that a swear word? I don't think it's a swear word, but I won't say it anyway. I don't think it's suitable for television programmes at 10 o'clock in the morning. But people change things for the sake of it sometimes, don't they? When something is working, blooming well, leave it alone for God's sake. But anyway, so they've changed the taste of the kebab, and my sister didn't like it. She said, "Well, that's the last one I'm having here." So there we are. That's two things have gone wrong already. So they finished up that. I think she left most of the kebab and just had the salad in the end. She said, "Well, I'll have to get a burger from McDonald's." Okay, fair enough. Right, so then we went for a walk, and we went on a slightly different route this time. We went down past that. If you go to the clock, we usually go to the clock, forward and left. This time we went to the clock and then went right along. We're going to go round in a circle around the gardens. I found out they got a little model village down there as well, which I'd like to go and see. It's only £3. Only £3 to go and see that. Obviously not open at 7 o'clock at night. It's pitch black now. So we're walking along the river. Along by the sea. We've come right round, and we're now walking along with the sea to our right. And I didn't realise, in the sea, all the wind turbines, they're all lit up at night. Little red and white light. Looks ever so pretty. It's almost like Christmas in the sea. Ever so pretty it is. Did you know that? They light up the wind turbines at night, and I didn't know that. All these little lights, and a big white light in the middle. I suppose that is like some sort of control box or something like that. It looked like a spaceship. I was very, very excited. I thought for a moment I was going to be transported away to a happier time in my life. It's a very sad time. Sad. Let's just do that. No, 1 minute. Got to do everything here on your own, don't you? So we come along there, and then we got along to another bit. Then we got past where the clock would be, but further towards the beach. And then we've gone onto the path, and there's a gate gone across it. Someone's pulled it. There's a big metal gate. And Martin said he thinks it's a flood barrier because it's a big old sturdy metal thing that they've pulled across there. So maybe the tide was due to come in or something. So we couldn't walk along there. So we had to cut our walk. There's 3 things gone wrong now. 3 things. I haven't finished yet. So then we turned left, come along there, and then we got into McDonald's. We always have an ice cream at McDonald's. Now, in the McDonald's in Skegness, they've got all these self-service things, like, and you touch something, and as long as you pay by credit card or debit card. Well, we don't use cards, dear. Cash is king. Credit cards are for millennials. Debit card, they are for millennials, not for great standing pillars of society like myself, my sister, and my brother-in-law. Where cash is king. So if you want to pay by cash, you've got to go to the desk. All these young people touch with the card, and then they get their little ticket out. No, we want to talk to someone. I'm desperate to talk to anyone, usually. So I've gone along there, and I've got there first. I said, and I said to my sister in a loud voice, I said, it's the Smarties ice cream I usually have, isn't it? And the bloke piped up, I'm sorry, mate, there's no ice creams. And I'm like, pardon? No ice creams, dear. That's why we come in there. And then, oh, right, OK, then. So my sister's gone forward and just ordered herself a burger because she was hungry. She's not had the blooming kebab, has she? Because she didn't like it. And I've gone back to... Martin is now sitting around the corner at a table, waiting patiently for his ice cream. And I sat down and said some very, very bad news. He said, don't tell me there's no ice creams. I said, no. He said, are you joking? I said, no. He said, honestly, there's no ice creams. There are no ice creams. And there's nowhere else to get an ice cream now in Skegness. I know, it's unbelievable. Have you seen how many ice cream shops there are in Skegness? Not in the winter, mate. And not at night. They're all closed. Shutters are down. No ice creams in Skegness. Not even now in a McDonald's. So we sat there, very despondent and upset while my sister came over and chomped away at her burger. And then Martin says, hang on a minute, there's a Kentucky. I said, I don't know if they still do ice creams. And my sister said they do crush'ems. They are like ice creams. And I thought, I'm sure they're not like ice creams. They're more of a milkshake, aren't they? I mean, I could have a vanilla milkshake at McDonald's. They're all right, aren't they? Yeah, by the way, have you ever had a McDonald's vanilla milkshake that's gone warm? Oh, it is, disgusting things. Absolutely awful. Don't ever have it. Don't ever let that warm up. So we jumped back in the car. So, and that's 4 things that have gone wrong. Disastrous night. Disastrous. 4 things have gone right. So we got back in the car. We've now bypassed the machines because we're all desperate for an ice cream, dear. And we went through Skegness and then we parked on this thing. And Martin said, well, park there. And I saw a sign, loading only. And he said, well, we always park here. And I spotted a camera. I spotted a camera there. You can just imagine probably a perv. Probably a perv, boys and girls. You see, it's all very well. When you go to school and you want to take pictures of your children, and oh no cameras, no pictures, and then some old bag, you take pictures of my kids. No, not taking pictures of your ugly kids, darling. My kids, or in my case, my great nieces and nephews, not yours. Yours are ugly. Go away. And yet, we have security cameras all over the country. How do you know what these people are like? And of course, people in authority, they've all been, what's that thing, DB checked or whatever it is, database checked. Oh, so they're not. How do you know? Yeah, how do you know what goes through someone's sick mind, dear? All those pervs are there with their little joysticks, zooming in on people. Probably me. And I bet there was one of them looking through that camera, waiting for me to get out that car. I didn't get out. I said, I'm not parking here. Martin said, no, you'll be all right here. No, there's a bloody camera up there, dear. They're waiting. There's a bloke on a joystick with a button waiting to take a picture of my car and send me a fine. Only for the lady bailiff who I just met a few hours ago to turn up at my caravan and take my car away. No, don't do it. So we moved off from there into the little car park. Because usually we go to Audi after that, you see. But we couldn't because that road had been closed. So it meant going all the way around. So we decided to go to Lidl instead. Went to Lidl instead. So we got out, we parked in the little car park, walked over to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. And yes, indeed, they do Mr. Whippy ice cream. So we ordered 3 cream balls. 3 cream balls, right? So like these little plastic round things, and they fill them up with ice cream and put something on it. But unfortunately, they haven't got the little balls at the moment. He didn't have any balls. He had no, but I'm sorry, we haven't got any balls. And Martin said, so you've lost your balls, have you? He said, that's right. Possibly some operation. I mean, you don't like to ask if anything's happened, you see. So I said, does that mean you can't do ice creams? He said, oh no, we'll put them in another plastic cup. Oh, okay then. So we ordered 3 ice creams. What, the biggest ice creams you've ever seen in your life. He filled this thing right up, and it said fill line on there. No, he didn't take any notice of that. He must have liked us. He filled it right up. I mean, he was a big lad. Perhaps that's why he was giving us portions the same size as he, but we didn't complain. I had the one with toffee on it, and I had it there. I've got to say, there might have been something wrong with the machine. I don't know. It was a little bit icy in there. You know, sometimes it's got a bit too cold, and the ice cream has got a bit icy. But nevertheless, we ate those, and kind of, you know, that was all right. You know, instead of the McDonald's ice cream. Came out. What's that noise? Oh, it's my clock. Came out of there and we went into Lidl for a change. So I wanted some blueberries and other bits and pieces. Walking around in there, and what do I see? Stacked high, convector heaters. Convector heaters, but not the same as my one. From the look of it, on the side, includes timer. I thought, wow, I wouldn't have to have a time switch with that. So I bought another convector heater for the living room, in the hope then instead of me walking in there and it being cool, it might actually be warm if I put 2 convector heaters in. Now, I have to be careful with the amount of electricity that I'm drawing into the caravan, because your electricity supply in a caravan is not like the one at home. You're limited. You put too many things on, the power will trip out. This happened on Monday night, as I told you. But I worked it out and I thought, no, that'd be okay. You can have 2 on, 2 or 3 heaters on. You can have those on. So I got to the till and I paid for my caravan there. Paid for my convector heater there. It was bigger than the one I've got. I thought, oh good, this would be excellent. This has got to sort it out. This has got to sort it out, I thought to myself. And then my sister got stuck at the till. It kept coming up, call assistant. And you know why it said call assistant? Because she'd bought felt pens. I said, well, why is that? What? You haven't bought any? I go, no, she says, because I bought felt pens and they might think I start sniffing them. Well, on the way home in my car, I hope not. So that was sorted, and the bloke went around. There was 2 staff in this place. And, you know, once he'd walked away, well, where had they gone? You know, didn't know where, couldn't find staff anywhere. And then it got stuck again, so she had to call him back. We couldn't find him. Martin was shouting out, hello, can we have some help here, please? Eventually he came over. Sorted that out, and you see, so that's it. And then we drove back to my sister's house. I had a cup of tea there, and I went home and I set up my new heater, bigger than the other one. Took it out of the box, screwed the feet on the bottom, set it all up, lovely. So there we are, and I'm thinking, where's the timer function? Oh, there's the timer function. So I push this button and it says 1 hour, and I thought, well, how do you set the time on and off? And then I realised it's not a timer function at all. It's a countdown timer. So it's not one of those that you can come on, say, 8 o'clock in the morning and go off at 10 o'clock in the morning. No, you had to physically go over and turn it to 2, like 2. So it would come on for 2 hours. Well, that's no good to me, is it? I want a heater that I can do to come on at a certain. Now the other one I bought a separate timer switch, so that works. So I thought, well, maybe I'll just buy another timer switch for this. No, that doesn't work because of the way this one is. It's got this like electronic timing thing and what have you on it. As soon as you take the power off, it defaults to off. So if the timer if a separate time switch turns the power on, it will still be off until you physically touch some buttons on the front of the convector heater to turn the damn thing on. So I've got the wrong thing. And that was it's badly worded on the side of the box. So I'm going to take that back to Lidl. Now, I was going to wait until I go back to Skegness, which is sometime next week. But I got about an hour and a half to spare today. So I know we've got a Lidl here just up the road in Boston. So I think maybe maybe I'll go to Boston after I finish the show today and get the thing changed there. While I'm there, I can go into B&Q and get another one of theirs, because that works well with the timer switch. I might get another one in there. So if I get my money back on that one, put it back in the box, because it's not what I wanted. So that was our disastrous night out at Skegness last night. Terrible, one problem after another. But it was still a nice day to have out, it was. Right, let's read some of your messages again. Good morning to Jason J. Bob. Good morning, Jason. Jake, do you have any favourite memories from the Black Cap? No, the whole thing was, 70s and 80s night on a Monday when it was packed, Jake. And it was packed. I mean, you know how the Black Cap was long, Jake. Yeah. If you were down the bar end and wanted to go to the toilet, this is how busy it was on a Monday. You'd have to start walking about 10 minutes before you wanted to go. That's how busy it used to be on a Monday. And we kept that up for years. And then, unfortunately, Heaven and GAY opened, and their big opener was pound of lager, £1. Well, unfortunately, the pub decided, or not, I don't know who makes the decisions for that, the pub decided to just carry on selling their beer at the normal price that they were selling and see what happens. Well, we lost 75% of the customers within 2 weeks because they saw the cheap drink, and we didn't really get them back. I mean, the Mondays went up and down a little bit, but we never got back to that state that we had where it was absolutely rammed on a Monday. And Saturdays as well. And I remember my Saturdays there, they were absolutely rammed as well. Is there a particular night that I remember? Not really, no. Wouldn't be one particular night. I had the best New Year's ever in the Black Cap. That was when it was being run by a chap called John Ward, and we didn't get on, to be honest. We didn't get on when he was running the Black Cap, but that doesn't mean I do get on with him now, actually. But you see, I'd been there a while and he was new in, and he had his ideas and I had my ideas, and it just didn't work. But he never got rid of me or anything, so respect for that. But yes, he was running the place at the time, and I did the New Year's Eve, and it was great. That was the best New Year's Eve I ever had, was in the Black Cap. So perhaps if I had to choose one night, it would be that one. Can't remember the date of it. It would have been 1994, 5, 6, somewhere around that. All right. So that's my favourite message, my favourite night of the Black Cap. Hello to Jason J. Bob. Welcome, Jason. One of our Central Station people. Claire says, I love seaside slot machines. My mum says I usually blow a few quid whenever we go. I love the prize tickets. So they all pour out the machine, don't they? Yes, indeed. Mohammed. Good morning to Mohammed Marsil. Watching one of the Learn English websites, probably, I would think. Tony, on the subject of the virus in his computer, it sends you a message telling you not to turn off your computer and block your computer. Tell you to dial a number which they provided and they would set you free, basically. They try to encrypt it. Ah, yes. Now, I've had that before. Do you know what I did? I closed the browser down. Opened it again, and the message had gone. So I don't know if that happened to you there, mate. Don't know if that would have sorted there. Tony says it steals your card account and sends it off to hackers and crooks around the world. You basically have to delete your browser and relaunch it. That tends to fix the problem. Yeah, so you did that as well. Yeah, it's the same thing. It was only a browser virus. That could have been a lot worse. They do. That's what they try to panic you. I keep getting emails at the moment from people telling me that I've been looking at dodgy porn websites, and if I send them $800, they will delete my information. And you just delete the email. They haven't seen nothing. I'm telling you that now. Hello to Robert Lunn. If you want an ice cream, go to RAF 55. All you can eat restaurant. Loads of ice cream. Yes, Robert. My sister often goes there for breakfast with her husband. They actually drive into Skegness and they have the most wonderful breakfast there. I have yet to experience that one, Robert. Thank you very much. Are you near Skegness, Rob? Are you near there? Hello to Hogler. Good morning, Hogler. Adrian Richardson joins us very, very late today, dear. You get later and later. Is it like you just turn up for the last 10 minutes? I think you can only handle that much of me now, Adrian. Is that what it is? Eh? Jason Shaw, clock, autocorrect. Clock. Hello to Matthew Joplin, big time DJ. Good morning, Matthew. Isn't it funny how I gave it up and you started it again, the DJing thing? Funny that. Hello, Jason. Welcome along to the show. Have you got a favourite drag queen? Wants to know Jake Hook. Ooh. Who's my favourite drag queen? I don't know, you know. My favourite show was Sandra Lucia and Millie Turner. That was my favourite show. Sandra, Lucia and Millie Turner. The three of them don't work together now. Sandra still is a drag queen. I don't know if Millie works as a drag queen anymore. I don't think she does. Lucia doesn't work as a drag queen anymore. So they were the big drag queens in the early 1990s. Yes. Hello to Changaos. Welcome to the show. Tony remembers going to the Cap, stopped because it got too busy. Yes, it got incredibly busy in there. Certainly on the Mondays and the Saturdays. Even the Fridays were busy. Even the Fridays. So I do miss the Black Cap. There is a group of people trying to get it reopened, and it would be wonderful if they did. And they already asked me to DJ there, and I said no, I'd be the wrong person for that. You see, that period of time has gone. And I've said this before, that you can't reopen it for what it was. It's got to be something else now. Yes, indeed, you would, of course, have, I hope, drag cabaret on there. But there'd be another way of doing it now. You can't put back what was there. That's gone. And even if you did everything on the stage as it was then, the customers are all different. And those new customers, I look too old to be standing on the stage DJing. You get away with karaoke. I'd love to do the karaoke there. I'd love to do the karaoke at the Black Cat. DJing, no, you want someone young and pretty. That's just how it is. That's just how it is, unfortunately. Adrian's had another... you've had another engineer in, have you? Kid, are you just calling these people in randomly? Is there actually anything wrong in your house? I bet there isn't. He's been banging nails in the gas pipe, creating leaks so engineers go around and have a look. Morning to Mr. Gregorian. Morning to you, sir. Welcome to the show. Ben Parker, Phil Starr. Oh, yeah, Phil Starr. He was great. Pound of carrots. Remember that joke? The pound of carrot quote. He died a number of years ago, Phil Starr. Maisie Trillette's still around. She's the oldest drag queen, I think, followed in age. Possibly Dave Lynn would be the next one down. But there's some very good young drag queens. I like the English drag queens. I'm not keen on the American drag queens, which just seems to be all about looks or not so much talent. Some of them are all right, but a lot of them are just, it's all about look. And they look fantastic, but there's nothing behind there, you see. I like live entertainment. That being said, I very much like Titi LeCamp. Now, that's all mime. You know, there's nothing wrong with mime. There's nothing wrong with mime. But a whole lip-syncing show without any comedy doesn't do it for me. Say someone comes on and does Whitney Houston and then Dolly Parton, I don't know, Diana Ross, but without any comedy, then the show is not all there for me. But that's only my personal opinion. And that being said, there are thousands of people all over the world who love this American drag queen thing. It's not for me. I'm afraid it's not for me. Drag with No Name, fantastic entertainer. Absolutely fantastic entertainer. His other half, he's just got over a lot of cancer treatment, hasn't he? Which went quite well there. Good. Miss Jason, Tony. Yeah, Miss Jason's fantastic as well. When I think about it, probably Miss Jason is my favourite at the moment. I think, actually, now that you've mentioned that name, Miss Jason is probably my favourite at the moment. Okay, Hinge and Bracket. No, you're going back a bit far now, John. Do try and keep with us. Ben, Ida Bar. Who's Ida Bar? I don't know who Ida Bar is. Let's do the birthdays today, gang. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 2nd of November, to Robbie Stedman. Good morning to Robbie Stedman, who's raising money for his birthday for prostate cancer. Happy birthday to you, Robbie. Nice to see your little face appear there. Will Peters today is 35 years old. He's raising money for Movember. That's where everyone grows moustaches. Okay. Good morning, Will. 35 today. Steve Corbett. Steve Corbett. 54. I didn't know you was just a year behind me, Steve. Wow. Steve Corbett brought me in to be the main DJ at Harpo's and Coper's in Earl's Court many, many years ago, and we got on really well. He's a wonderful bloke, and I think he's running some sort of golf thing now, and I reconnected with him on Facebook some months ago, and it's lovely. He was such a nice bloke to work for. Happy birthday to you, Steve. I must meet up with you at some point, mate. Absolutely must meet up with you at some point. By the way, Steve, I don't know if you're watching this or not, but what happened to George and Linda? Are they around? George and Linda? They went back to Leeds, didn't they? Because they took over the running after you. And then when it all went a bit pear-shaped there, they went back up to Leeds and ran a place called Yell. And they asked me to go up there and do a gay night, which we did. But to be honest, it never worked. For some reason, it never worked. It just didn't work. But we tried it. And what happened to George and Linda? Because I got on well with them. They were lovely people as well, George and Linda. I liked them. But happy birthday to you, Steve. Claire Gibson, it's her birthday today. Good morning, Claire. Happy birthday. Caroline Deeds, happy birthday to Caroline. Dalila Robin, happy birthday to you. And Thomas Peter Harlem is a young 27 today. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right. Some final messages. Ben says, I've been through sober October. Now I can't remember December. Tonight it's karaoke, boys and girls. I'll be hosting karaoke tonight at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Do come and join us for Friday karaoke starting at 8:30 and finishing at midnight, okay? Bring your friends. Friday karaoke tonight at Central Station, Wharfdale Road in King's Cross. Thanks very much, gang. Have a lovely Friday. Thank you very much for joining us. The sun's come out now, so it should be nice and warm in my living room. I think a little cup of tea before I go out. Have a nice day. Bye-bye now.